your new life does require you to kind of like kill your old self a little bit. Again, I don't know everything and I'm learning as I go, but man, like this stuff has worked for me. Welcome back to the Lily Paulina Beauty Podcast. My name is Lily. I am your host. I am a teenage mom going into an entrepreneur to celebrity artist to let's see what else God wants to do with me. Maybe coaching. I don't know. I've been getting a lot of requests with people wanting to work with me for mindset coaching because I did do weight loss coaching for a while and I'm still doing that like very little because I wanted to kick off the start really strong with my team. I just got 3 new girls in the salon, so I've been focusing on that. But I don't know, you guys, maybe I will consider coaching. Who knows? Because it is really fun. It is really, really fun. I have loved to see some of the clients I have helped lose weight and just their transformations in mindset and everything. I mean, for me, losing the 50 pounds has been huge because it elevated me to one thing, and after like it was, going to the gym like once a week to 2 times a week to taking supplements to, like where I am now. So yeah, you guys, anyways, I can talk for days. Let me focus. I got notes. Focus on your notes, Lily, because I can talk for days. I'm just super, honestly, you guys, I'm having so much fun with the podcast, and I really appreciate like all your guys' really good feedback. So let's see where God takes us this year. Actually, I wanted to start the first episode 8 with a prayer because it's 2024. God has been so good already. So good to me and my kids already. I got gifted something very beautiful already, and I feel like it's such a huge thing. I wasn't looking for it, and I feel like God's like, here you go. And I feel it's from me forming consistency, self-discipline, faith, pretty much letting God prepare me for the blessings that he wants to give me. So, Diosito, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for you and how you love me and my kids. Please, everybody that comes through and across this podcast and heal their heart, get into their mind, help them distinguish when you're talking to them and when they're being distracted from the opportunity to be who you made them to be. Heal their hearts, Diosito, heal their souls, their generational trauma, and bless them this year to not react in anger and anything negative, but to react in love and light. So all of us as a collective can share more light in this world and help each other grow, help each other heal, and come together more as brothers and sisters instead of focusing on such petty shit and starting drama. Help us focus on the bigger picture, on love, on being happy, on finding your soulmate, on breaking barriers, on making your first million, your first billion, on fighting mental health, on all those yummy things versus how we've been distracted for years and years and years. Diosito, in your name I pray. Amen. Alrighty, you guys. Okay, let me shake it off because it's been a lot. It's day 3 out of 2024, and it's been like boom, 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 boom. God is not playing with me this year. And I'm here for it. All right, you guys, this episode is going to be about block scheduling and pretty much inspired action versus uninspired action, and consistency, pretty much productivity. Because I get this question a lot whenever I put up a question post on my story on Instagram. This is like for sure one I always see. So people always want to know how I get shit done as a single parent, running a business with 3 kids, teenager, 2 toddlers, I live away from my family, so it's like 45 minutes away from help. So, and I manage a household, a business, and being present with my kids. All of this is new. I don't know everything, but I do want to share what has worked for me so you guys can either be inspired by it and that works, and great, that tool works. I'm happy for you. And if it doesn't work, at least it inspires you to don't focus on actually like the technique I'm using, but more of like what that technique gives you, whether it's gratitude, whether it's presence, whatever it is. Just listen to that and see, you know, like meditate on it a little bit, journal on it a little bit after this episode, and comment down what that is going to be like, because sometimes it's not adding things, it's things that we're not. Sometimes it is adding things, but sometimes it's things that we're doing wrong and that need to get removed. Sometimes we become more productive from doing less. Let's start with inspired action and uninspired action. So this came actually from a book that I read, and I am going to do another book review. I just I need to figure out, because there's been so many good books, you guys. But I don't remember it on top of my head right now, but it's inspired action and uninspired action. You guys, uninspired action, I think we all know. It's like that day-to-day mundane doing to-do list stuff, right? But we're like pushing through, we're getting it done, right? We're crossing it off, but we're not feeling really hot. We're not feeling really good. Versus inspired action, where you're just in flow state, you're getting things done, you're vibing, you're feeling yourself. Te rinde el tiempo. I don't know how to say that in English. And, you know, so that is something that if you've been practicing presence, you'll be able to distinguish really quickly. The different is like worlds of a difference. You get so much more done in flow state of inspired action that I honestly recommend, and this is something I started doing, not do anything when you're not feeling inspired. Like, instead, put all your effort, the little effort that you feel, because obviously you're not feeling good, into changing your mind state and energy to inspired action. You know, how do you get there? Maybe you need a shower. That always freshens you up. Maybe you need to go for a run. Maybe you need to meditate. Maybe you need to do a journal exercise and a brain dump and just get all that shit out. Whatever you got to, maybe it's a 30-minute nap, you know? But just do it, and then put yourself through. Like, when you're doing those stuff, focus on like what is that doing to like push you through? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of this, and a big part of this also, I've been a creative and business owner. Honestly, my journey started at 16 when I started doing hair and makeup in high school, because I had gotten pregnant at 14, and I really needed a coping mechanism with the depression I was feeling, and the abuse I was going through at that time, and it manifested in me, you know, just playing with my image a lot, because I never liked to have the same style as everybody else. I always had to have a little edge, a little zhuzh, you know, something different. And that apparently was like attracting people. And then it wasn't until like acquaintance from high school told me like, hey girl, like, have you thought about doing this like for your career? Here I was thinking like, after high school, I'm going to go to college and do all the responsible stuff, right? But honestly, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. And sometimes it's not for you right now, but it can be for you later. Like, you guys, we can live so many life experiences in this lifetime. Like, you don't have to stick to one thing. All of that to say is, by the age of 19, I was already like a business owner. I was renting my own chair, and this was never my plan, you guys. This is what's so funny. I always saw business as like a burden, because business runs in my family. If you guys saw my last episode, or the one before that, about my grandma. Like, it comes from my grandma. it's just business in my family, period. And I always would see my dad and my uncles and my aunts like stressed out, you know? But it just kind of got pushed on me, and I had to roll with the punches because I was a single mom. And if you think about it, this was back in 2010 time. There wasn't, like, the minimum wage was shit. Like, what was I gonna put myself through college to take care of my son, you know? And this was the only thing that I was able to do flexible hours and stuff like that. With that being said, I ended up working, and that kind of like, I ended up working 6 days a week for years. And I would, I think it was like after year 3 or 4 or something like that, or year 2 or 3, something like that, I started like working on my business because I was very much a business operator, not being a business owner. So there's a huge difference. Then after I started implying like working on my business outside of being behind the chair, the growth started happening, right? But no one showed me how to run a business. So I started like reading books, taking classes, because my major in college was my first major in college. I dropped out of high school a couple of times. I swear, you guys, the movie Grease, beauty school dropout, besides, you know, I didn't drop off from beauty school. Take that out. That's so fucking me with the pink hair and everything. But anyways, I had 3 majors, just long story short. My first major, wait, was it? No, it was 2 majors. 3 majors. Never mind, I forgot 3 majors. Anyways, my first major was business operation or something like that. Business something. And, you know, like it was in with all that time frame. So I was kind of getting a little idea of it. And I learned that I had to figure out a way, like a common theme was discipline, scheduling and things like that, like productivity, right? More than these books, these classes were showing more than just like, you know, echarle putazos and fucking be working like physically. There was a big difference in the like literature I was reading on working smarter, not harder. It's a very interesting subject. This is kind of like what the episode is really about. This episode anyway. So I was trying to really pick it up and understand it for myself, right? Because, I mean, most of these books were from, like, freaking CEOs, men, pretty much, you know? And they were, like, not in creative businesses. My schedule was never really set, and I was never really, like, consistent. And that pushed me to burnout. And the interesting thing about being defeated, feeling like you can't, like you want to give up and stuff, is you're really given an opportunity for clarity with you versus you. Like, and this became really clear, like one message that came, I think it was 2 years ago when I was going to move to Iowa, and I'll have to like look back and see if I even talked to you guys about that. But long story short, I was in a situation where God was able to like come through and pretty much make it so clear to me. And it was like a lifetime lesson where it just, my mind, everybody, like all of me understood what he was talking about. And he pretty much told me like, all right, yeah, this sucks. Yes, this is unfair. Blah, 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 going on and on and on, right? About like my current situation, the situation at the time, my life situation at the time. Keynote life situation, you guys. We'll talk about that soon in a other episode. But he was like, but you were made, like, I'm trying to remember like the exact words. I remember the message, but not the exact words. Like, you are my daughter. Like, this situation is either going to push you more into more unconsciousness and more situations like this, or you can pick yourself fucking up and see who you really are. And when he said that, it was like, see who you really are through me. Like, you are my daughter. Like, I am right here with you. And it was just like, I don't know, like that tough love that I needed, where I was just like, holy shit. Like, yeah, this sucks, but pretty much what are you going to do about it? Because is your problem bigger than you, or are you bigger than your problem? Is God bigger than your problem? Or is your problem bigger than God? What? You know, you say you believe in God and all that stuff, but think about that. When you're freaking out and you're going through stuff, like, really, if you're serving the God that created us, you know, created this world, the one that we read about in the Bible, then why are you fucking worried? He fucking parted the sea. You know what I mean? And I feel like as long as you are working on yourself, you're being aware, you're not being a shitty person, and you are pretty much just in your own fucking lane and not throwing out negativity, even when you're doing that, God loves you. Like, let's just say that. But imagine when you're doing all the things, like walking how God wants us to be. Like, how much more protective, how much more he's going to spoil you. Like, how much more grace he's going to give you. How much more health are you going to get? It's fucking mind-blowing to me, and I can talk about this shit all fucking day. But anyways, after my burnout, I feel like in that conversation I had with him, things just kind of started to like a book I read 5 years ago, like, oh, dun, like kind of like that type of situation, was just kind of like clicking. Everything was clicking. And honestly, you guys, like, there's this one thing I read in a book. Again, I can't remember what book, but I think it was the 5 a.m. Club. No me acuerdo. Point is that, like, this, sometimes you get like this, this person got like a flow of ideas, like out of nowhere, right? And he wrote them down, and this was supposed to be like $1 billion, like restaurant napkin, freaking writing it down, like, you know, come through like freaking God to you, you know, like in your lap. And then he fucking loses the napkin. And I think he was praying or something. And the guy, God was like, whatever came through flow state that you received will not be forgotten. You will remember when you need to remember. You didn't really forget. Like, truth is everlasting. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like a situation like that. So I have heard of, so that we talked about uninspired and inspired action, which is huge. But there's this other thing that I had read about and kind of researched a little bit called block scheduling. And pretty much that's kind of how I'm operating right now. So there's a few different block scheduling, inspired action, and 3 or 5 results daily. So those are 3 different things, 3 different tools I use. We talked about inspired action already. Block scheduling pretty much kind of works like, I don't know if your guys' like middle school work like this, but I think when I was in beauty school, it was something like this. I'm trying to remember. We literally had block scheduling. So every day was different. So it could have been like one day A, day B, day A, day B, back and forth. But needless to say, every day was different. And usually we would have math, science, PE, language arts, and I don't know what else. And instead of doing it all the classes in one day, 1 hour at a time or something like that, like they were doing like 2 or 3 classes a day for 3 hours or 2 hours at a time to really gain momentum and focus. And that's literally how I work. So I have a schedule for the days I have my kids, and I have a schedule the days I don't have my kids. And that's what I focus on. And I do whatever I can in that allotted time. Like I literally put in, like I have a like alarm in my phone for 2 hours or 3 hours. And then when the alarm is off, like ya estuvo, that's it. That's all I'm going to do for that particular subject of my life that I'm working on. And I am always working on all aspects of the new life that I want to be living. Whether that is being a creative. So I do that with pole dancing. I do that with makeup, and I do that with clothes. So do I pick up my clothes like for the week? Do I, you know what I mean? Like things like that. So you like show up, like you show up. You know what I mean? You're just not just like stumbling through the fucking day, going through the motions. Like that's never gonna move you anywhere but more of the same thing. So your new life does require you to kind of like kill your old self a little bit. Again, I don't know everything and I'm learning as I go, but man, like this stuff has worked for me. And all of this, like, okay, it's so easy for me to tell you guys like all the strategies and things like that. But when you're in it, it's completely different. But I will tell you guys one thing, it'll be even 100 times harder for you guys to be consistent, be successful, more than you guys already are, if your health isn't right. Health is wealth, period. You can like work your ass off, but if your health is shit, ni el pinche dinero va a ser suficiente to get you fucking better. You know what I mean? So, lo bonito entra por la boca, like my dad always say. So, put your health first. If you haven't been feeling good, like fuck money, fuck all this shit, and focus on yourself and getting yourself better, like healthy wise. Like check your blood levels, like hydrate more, supplement. Like let's freaking get the ball rolling. Like enough is enough on beating up on your body. I think I'm a month 3 of no alcohol, and I am feeling so fucking good, you guys. I am feeling so clear, so like that bitch, like in the most respectful way to myself. Like I never liked that word. I never liked people calling me that, like in a good way or whatever. But that fucking attitude, you guys, that attitude, like I will love you, but you know what I mean? I'm not playing. And I fucking love it here. And I don't see that being possible without me respecting myself. How have I gained respect over myself? Doing what I say I'm going to be doing. Cutting people that don't respect me out of my life. Cutting people that don't appreciate me out of their life. Cutting alcohol. Cutting toxicity. You know what I mean? Pretty much. Like eating like as much as possible organic. Like again, supplementing, hydrating. Now I have been consistent with the gym. But that didn't all come at once. It's been thing after thing after thing. If I was back to burnout, back to like fighting depression and all that stuff, I would start with my health all over again. And the funny thing is that that wasn't really my intention, because I wasn't even aware of how unhealthy I was, because usually you never are, or else you would do better. But when I couldn't unsee it, like what I was feeling and what I saw just kind of like mashed, and it was it. Like I was like, no more. That's it. I got pushed into losing the weight, and then from losing the weight, it was everything else. Again, if you guys want me to help you guys lose weight without working out, like send me a message. I got you guys. But yeah, I hope this helps you guys. It was so nice to record this episode. I cannot wait to see you guys next week. Happy New Year y los quiero mucho. Mwah.